Welcome back to Breakfast Daily Weekend right here on ChannelOne TV with myself, Jude Duncan, and my colleague, Eno Safo. Just gone by the What's Happening segment where we're recapping really some of the big events happening this weekend for you. Don't forget the road show, the Premier League road show is happening at the East Legon Star Bites with the City Sports team, Chelsea, Newcastle, Arsenal, Liverpool. Don't miss any of that. If you are wondering how to be a part of the show, you can do so via WhatsApp and Telegram line on 0204 447 033, 0204 447 033. But for now, we shift focus to discuss really an area of interest for you. If you're a book lover, if you love reading, you know, you don't even have to love reading to do this, but if you want to just have it imbibed in you, this is the conversation for you. We are discussing the need or otherwise, or how to create, you know, a library in your home in the digital age. Calm down for me. Yeah, right? And you know, it's an important conversation.
Of course it is.
Right? And joining us in studio is Salom Dreammaker. Charlie. Oh.
Why dream maker? Or you make dreams come true?
I make dreams come true.
Simple and short.
Yes.
I love it.
I like dreaming.
Charlie,
Okay.
And I like to make people's
I need
dreams
some
come true.
$10,000 urgently.
Maybe not that kind of dream.
I need some $10,000 urgently. So
that kind of
if you can make that dream come true, I'll be very happy because I've been dreaming about it for some time.
Hey,
Yeah, I should cool
Be
down.
calming down for Salom.
Wow, Salom is an interior designer,
Yes.
project manager, and founder of Ascento Projects Limited.
Yes, please.
Dreammaker, welcome.
Thank you.
It's fun having you. You know, it's like
have you.
we've been having the show already before she came.
I'm telling you,
From-
really,
from
I've heard
when she joined us
so
on
much
set.
about you from Caleb.
Hey.
I tell you,
If
Caleb is making so much noise about you. And
if
it's
Caleb
nice
Kuda
to
is
meet you.
talking about you, means you know you're a big woman.
Yeah, top
you are
notch.
large.
Really?
Actually.
Large and in charge.
Wow. So we are discussing creating a library in the digital age.
Yes.
Right. And you know, for a lot of people, some have started moving from physical books to e-books.
Yeah.
Right. And for some reason, they don't see the need to even like have a physical space we would ordinarily call a library at the home. Just talk to us about why this is even important in the first place. Why do we need designated spaces as libraries in our homes or in some of our private spaces?
Sure. So first of all, you made mention of the fact that a lot of people are moving into the digital world and do not even see the need for a space, I mean a physical space for a library. But what we forget, or most people don't really understand, is the library is not only a space to store books. Do you get it? The library is not only a space for storing books. Do you get it? Apart from that, yes, people are moving from physical books to digital versions, but that's actually just a couple of people, just a portion of people. There are still a lot of people who still, I mean, really admire hard copies. Do you get it? There are some people who still do not want to move into that. I am a book lover. I read a lot, but I mean, I have bags of books until I discovered the digital versions, and since then I stopped buying physical books. But I still have a library. Do you get it? The library actually is another space for relaxing. Do you get it? It's more of a sanctuary for some people because reading does several things to different people. To some people, it's a hobby. It's a way of relaxing. To other people, it's actually part of work. Do you get it? To some people, so it's time we shift from the idea that a library only serves as a storage space. Do you get it? Because you can still have a physical, I mean, the digital books online or whatever, on whatever, I mean, tool, and still need a space, do you get it, to soak in whatever it is you are reading.
Right.
To soak in whatever it is you are reading. Again, imagine you have kids at home. Probably they might still, sometimes they just want a space that is too conducive for them, very productive for them, a space that could help avoid distractions. Do you get it? Probably depending on whatever it is you are reading, you're trying to soak right? So I think, I mean, yes, we've gotten to the digital, I mean, generation now, but sometimes you still need that space. So you still need to have that kind of ambience, that kind of environment, which is also very productive when you have kids at home. When you have kids at home, because in this day, almost everybody's trying to, I mean, imbibe in their kids the love for books, I mean, the attitude for reading, because you can't do it without reading in this our age now.
Yeah, that's very true. What should we consider, you know, when we are thinking of putting up a home library?
Okay, so I think when you are building, this is actually something that you need to add, you need to think about right from the portion of when you're putting together your building plans. One thing about designing is, I mean, I think especially in our part of the world, most people, most homeowners, or I don't know if I should blame the contractors, they make designing seem as last minute something. Do you get it? Meanwhile, it is something you think about right from the start, so that when you are going, you have a vision of how you want the reading space or the library to look like. So you want to think about your preferences, who you are, how you like to read. Are you just a leisurely reader? Are you more of a researcher? Do you get it? Somebody just wants a space to relax and then just soak in something. Do you get it? Another person wants a very serious environment. So you want to consider this aspect. Secondly, you need to have comfortable seating. In every other library, whatever it is, being it a physical library or a digital library, you need comfortable seating, because you want to be comfortable as you are soaking, as you are reading. Another thing is very good lighting. You can't have a reading space without enough light. So be it natural lights, or even if it's artificial lighting, you want to be able to balance it such that, in another way, you should also be able to control the lighting. Sometimes you want a lot of light, something so bright space. Again, depending on how you're going to be using your library or your space. Do you get it? In some instances, I think he was mentioning how he has a friend whose library is more than...
Charlie, he has every economic book from Kojoho to now. Charlie, AB major.
There are libraries that look very formal, and I mean, very, very traditional. You see, those are some of the libraries you mostly see in lawyers' offices. And then there are those ones that are quite casual and very homely. Let me put it that way. You have a combination of books and decor and comfortable seating and lounge spaces here and there. You see, you want to be able to actually identify where you belong. You provide comfortable seating, enough lighting, and then storage. Now, storage in this stage, we are dealing with either digital or physical books. Do you get it? So if you are looking at physical books, then you need enough shelving, enough cabinets, enough whatever kind of storage you want to actually access. Or you want to go on to the digital world, which means you need book readers. You need an e-book reader. You need a proper app or software that could help you organize.
You know, we'll come to the ways, the available tools in creating a digital library, right? But you know, interestingly, do you know the biggest library in West Africa?
So, there's not in Ghana, definitely.
Is it the University of Ghana?
It's actually in Ghana.
University of Ghana Library. The Baum Library. I think so, yeah.
So the Baum Library is the biggest library in West Africa and one of the biggest in Africa, about the third biggest in Africa.
Did you use it when you were there?
You know, I used it actually, but I used more the 24-hour study room.
Yeah.
Right, because I mean, back in campus, I was still doing media work with Radio Universe. So, I used to study in the night, and I used to go to the 24-hour, which is connected to the Baum Library. So I used to go there.
So you didn't necessarily use the Baum Library, but you used the
24-hour
that was connected
to
the Baum
Library. It's actually part of the Baum Library.
But can you enter the Baum Library at that time?
No. So they close at a certain time, but the 24-hour reading room is open.
It's open
24 hours, like the name suggests. Wow, you know, I like the way you started a conversation for us, talking about the importance, how to create the space, and the fact that it shouldn't be an afterthought. You know, because some people, but how different, or from a professional standpoint, would you say your library can be the same as your home office decks or you need to separate the two. If you have the funds, do a library separately and do your personal office space separately, or you can just merge it. From a professional standpoint, what advice would you give?
Okay, I think from that perspective, again, also would depend on who you are dealing with. I mean, yourself, if it's your home, right? You want to be able to determine how you want to use your space. In most cases, you can actually merge the library and your home office, or as a study area, or as a workstation. In some instances, especially, I've dealt with a lot of homeowners, especially those with kids. They don't want their kids actually to interfere. Yes, because I mean, in some instances, if it is your office at the same time, sometimes you might want to avoid distractions from kids here and there. If it's a library, it's likely the kids also have access. Do you get it? So in some instances, you might want to separate them. Sometimes, if you think, I mean, you have control over these two distractions, you can bring it together. Yes.
Wow. This is interesting. Let's talk about some of the tools available in creating a digital library.
Sure.
Are there softwares? How do you go about it? If somebody wants to start now, I know, for example, iPhone users or Apple users have like an app where you can store e-books, as we call it. Yeah. But beyond that, are there any tools available in creating this for yourself?
Yes. There are thousands of them. There are thousands of them. I mean, if you go to the App Store or Play Store or whatever, depending on the device you're using, if it's a tablet or, I mean, a mobile device, there are so many of them. There are so many of them you can download, you know. Sometimes the books are either just a PDF version, and then sometimes they are e-published books, right? So this would help determine which app or which software or which tool you get it. I know if you're buying the books from Kindle, Kindle also has its own software that actually organizes your books for you. Apart from that, you can just go online or wherever and then download softwares. Just key in e-book reader. Do you get it? E-book reader. And then it actually helps you organize all the books, either alphabetically, either from the recently downloaded or whatever, whichever way you prefer to have them organized for you.
You talk about Kindle.
Yeah.
Is that an app?
Kindle, Kindle is a platform for selling books. I mean, it's a book platform. So where you can buy books, you can rent books, you can actually,
Wow. So if I have a physical space that I want to designate as my library, what thought process should come into my mind? Or should I call Salom the Dreammaker to arrange the space for me? Where should the chairs go? What kind of chairs should I even get? I mean, you mentioned comfy chairs, but what is classified as comfy chairs?
Okay, comfy. So first of all, if you want to, let's just assume you already have a space, right? I started earlier about talking about comfortable seating, storage options. Now, for comfortable seating, again, if you are using your space as a workstation, that also means that you probably might need an office chair and an office desk. Or unless maybe your kind of work doesn't really demand that kind of seating, then you can go for maybe a comfortable sofa or a comfortable chaise lounge, I mean a lounge chair. That again also depends on your kind of lifestyle or how you prefer to read.
I've also seen people use bean bags.
Bean bags. Somebody wants to actually lie in bed and read. Another person wants to sit behind a table. Do you get it? So what works for you? Or sometimes you can even combine the two. You can just combine the two, put together. Again, you want to look at maybe the ambience, okay, the atmosphere, or what kind of mood do you prefer to have when you are reading? If it's just about reading and sometimes working, you want to avoid as much distractions as possible. You want to have a very productive space, which also supposes that you want to stick to as much as possible colors that are calming, colors that are known to be very productive. There are some colors that are very vibrant, unless that is how you are. Do you get it? Again, it all boils down to preferences.
A pink reading room.
Again, it all boils. I can't say for sure that avoid this color when you are designing a reading room. somebody actually feels calm with red.
Oh, Lord.
Do you get it? Yes. So somebody
It
red
takes me
is calming.
It takes me back to my friends. You know, they say old boys of Infansipan who are
Okay.
doing very well in the National Science and Maths quiz. So that means they read a lot. You know, a lot of them in their private spaces, they have a lot of red and black. Yeah. And it creates some impression, you know, like
Celo's expressions that I do not want to go down that path.
so we, like, you know, shout out to all Boche boys who are watching, you know, they are super.
You want to do this now?
I'll let it slide.
It's okay.
Oh, they'll get you. Don't worry about that.
You know, so I wanted us to also talk about how to start, because, you know, for a lot of people, they've probably finished building.
Yeah.
They've, you know, their spaces have already been designed without this in mind, right? But they now still feel the need to have this personal space where they can go in as their study or as a prayer room or whatever, right? How do you start? How do you start? Right? Should you just walk into a bookshop and buy plenty books? Like, maybe just, you know, some tips on how to start and grow it gradually.
Okay. So the only one, I mean, or probably some of the few challenges, you can start when the building is already completed. But then note that there are some design elements you might not be able to, or it might be difficult to inculcate when you are done with the structure. For instance, lighting. Do you get it? Maybe you want to actually bring in some form of lighting. Those are not things you can actually add in the last minute, right? Another thing is maybe the storage options, shelving, cabinets, all those things. Those are things. So it might be a little difficult. But let's just assume, yes, you are done. It's an afterthought, right? You want to start. Do I already have my books, or you are now starting fresh? As I'm not trying to inculcate the habit of reading. So let me just go and start buying books. You want to know if you already have books, or you are now going to start the journey of buying books. Do you get it? What kind of books do you have, right? If they are hard copies, sometimes, because you see, when you are arranging books in the shelves, you want to either categorize them, sometimes according to the sizes, sometimes according to the materials that are made of. Do you get it? Sometimes even in alphabetical order, or even color code them. Do you get it? Because these are also, you want to actually do more of an audit of what kind of books I have already. Once you have this, then you can start planning. Okay, look into the room. Where is it likely I can put my seating? Where is it likely I can actually put the storage? Because if the building is already completed, you need to look at the floor plan, the space, how the space is actually, where is the entry, where are the windows located? Then you can decide on, okay, then I'll sit here and face this direction. Okay, then I'll put the cabinets here and then arrange the books to face this direction. Do you get it?
I feel you, and honestly, you know, you are giving me ideas this morning.
Okay.
For your own library.
I want to see your library by
It's
Christmas.
a shelf.
She said by Christmas.
Yeah, so
How can
I'll
he
get
turn that shelf into
a library.
an aesthetically pleasing
Yeah.
library?
So let's look at where you position the shelf, the bookshelf or bookcase or wherever. I mean, sometimes you want the books to also serve as a focal point, a decorative piece in the space, in your living area or bedroom or wherever it is. Now, if you think wherever it is ideal for you, now let's look at, you need a small seating or seating area. It could just be a small armchair. Do you get it? It could just be a small armchair you can just place by it. Now you need lighting. You just bring in maybe a floor lamp or a table lamp or something. And then you need some table beside you, right? So which could be a coffee table or a side table. So on this, but also think about enough, how much space do you have around there? If you have enough space, then you can do all these. But let's assume the space is very tight. Because if you are sitting, it's likely you need a table, probably for your water or glass or whatever you're holding, right? So you want to consider all these things. Put a small chair beside it. Look for a lamp, either a floor lamp or a table lamp, to provide enough lighting for you. And then I think from there, maybe you look for a nice plant for either the table, or again, if you still have space around you, you can put a potted plant around on the floor.
Wow.
Right.
That's
It's
interesting.
I think
You
this
have
is
ideas, right?
Yeah, they definitely do have some ideas. Wow.
So, Stella, how do we maintain after we have a beautiful library? I like that picture. It's like a small nook in the
Kind of,
wall that
yes.
we turned into a library with adequate seating. But how do we maintain it and make sure that we're not getting damp or dew or any of those things destroying our books and our space?
So most people are fascinated with the idea of libraries until it gets to the maintenance bit, just like having plants at home. Don't forget that whilst you are creating the shelves, the books, arranging all these things, you need to find time occasionally to either dust them. That's one. I mean, no matter where your library is located, dust might still find its way there one day or one time. You get it? And it's, I mean, this usually happens especially to those who barely even use the space. Most people would actually do the library, but I mean, they don't even remember the last time they entered. The last time they went there, that is where it starts gathering dust from here. So you need to make time for that. Find a way to be dusting them from time to time. Sometimes you want to also rearrange the books because you see, books are such that just like clothes, the way you arrange them actually brings your attention to some books that sometimes you forgot you have. So sometimes try and rearrange them, recategorize them. There are some people who are very visual. Until they see it, they forget about it.
True.
Do you get it? So find a way to rearrange the books from time to time, just so that you know that, okay, at least I've gone through almost all the books from here. Do you get it? Again, avoid buying books when you know that you've not even tackled what is already there, right? You can, but make sure at least you're balancing. Some people just like buying books for buying sake. Buying books for buying sake. You get to a point where, unless probably you are just creating the library for aesthetics, unless probably that is your
Your aim.
Wow. You know,
Yes.
So I've had so much fun having you in studio. You know, Salom, as an interior designer,
Yeah.
do you do other stuff outside creating library spaces?
So I design spaces, I design homes, I design offices,
Wow,
I build.
wow. So if somebody wants to reach out to you for some consultancy work or for you to just help them out, how can they do so?
Okay, so first of all, you can either search me on social media, either Salom Dreammaker, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, now Threads, or just look for Acento Project. Or you can also visit us at Adringano. Just search Acento Project into your Google Calendar.
LinkedIn as well.
Come again.
LinkedIn as well, yeah. Also on LinkedIn.
Yes, please.
Wow, interesting. So you heard it for yourself. I just want to put her on the spot a little. You know, this week, you know, if you are very active on social media, Twitter specifically, there's been a whole conversation, discourse around Ghanaian writers, right? And you know, names like Peggy. The names
I
can
thought
be.
you go with a simpler matter.
No. So is it Peggy Odro, the Ghanaian writer? Peggy Opon, sorry. Peggy Opon came up strongly, right? And you know, people were talking about their works. So I just want to have your opinion on what you think about some of the Ghanaian writers we have in this country and the quality of their works. Because you know, the conversation on Twitter was deadly, right? People were saying all kinds of things.
To be honest, I actually
You
don't
have,
read a
you know,
lot
you
of
have to.
Ghanaian writers. I probably should, but I don't.
Yeah. So, you know, I grew up reading a lot of Danielle Steele.
Yeah.
Danielle Steele, right?
Yeah.
I mean, her book, Long Road Home, The Long Road Home was an amazing book, a super story. Not the Nigerian play, but the story was amazing. So let me just pick your thoughts. What do you make of the quality of literary work put out by Ghanaian writers in the past?
Writers. Honestly, I barely read Ghanaian books or writers. Yes, I know of Peggy. Or maybe let me say, I used to read a lot Ghanaian content, especially when I was in school, from SHS to university, because I did English literature in SHS.
Oh, okay.
And then I did English in the university.
Hey,
So
bro for him,
I did sing.
bro for him.
So reading Ghanaian literature was like compulsory.
Yeah.
But then maybe I should say after school, it's been more of a lot of Not to sound offensive, but a lot of foreign content.
Is it because it doesn't appeal to you anymore?
Not really. Maybe I barely come across a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me just. So are you a Peg Your Pawn stan?
I'm in between.
Yeah, in between. Wow.
Salon, thank you so much.
Thank
It's
you.
been fun having you, and we hope you visit us again soon.
Sure.
And we'll visit Ascento.
Yeah,
We'll be waiting.
See what's going on,
We'll be
because the way
waiting.
Caleb described your works on there, you know, we have to visit you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
All right, guys. So you know what to do with your space if you want to put a library, or you can just contact Salon the Dream Maker and have it done for you. We'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere.